At a moment when higher education is being challenged to better reflect the realities and complexities of modern life, one university is offering a bold new model. Temple University is breaking ground with a course that's more than just a deep dive into an artist's discography. It's a journey into the heart of a cultural movement, a meditation on Black identity, and a reimagining of how music can serve as both mirror and megaphone. The course, titled Kendrick Lamar and the Morale of M.A.A.D City, will be offered as part of the fall 2025 curriculum. And it's already being talked about in academic circles, cultural blogs, and hip-hop forums alike. Welcome to celebrity rap life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in celebrity rap life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next. At its core, this course isn't about celebrity. It's about substance. Led by Professor Timothy Welbeck of Temple's Department of Africology and African American Studies, the class proposes a radical shift. That Kendrick Lamar, one of the most influential voices in modern music, deserves to be studied not just as an entertainer, but as an intellectual force, a philosopher in rhyme, a cultural historian whose verses carry the weight of centuries. For Professor Welbeck, a Philadelphia native, civil rights attorney, rapper, and academic, the convergence of Kendrick's art and social commentary provides a blueprint for how hip-hop can be harnessed as a tool of liberation, healing, and resistance. Kendrick Lamar and the Morale of M.A.A.D City isn't just a clever play on the rapper's 2012 major label debut. It signals a broader, deeper intention. Morale in this context is about more than mood. It's about ethics, integrity, psychological stamina, and the emotional heartbeat of a people. It's about what it means to survive systems of oppression without surrendering your soul. It's about finding clarity in the chaos. And no modern rapper has wrestled with those themes more openly than Kendrick Lamar Duckworth. From the streets of Compton to the main stage at the Super Bowl, Kendrick has continually defied expectation. He's as comfortable invoking Zora Neale Hurston and James Baldwin as he is trading verses with West Coast legends. His music doesn't just entertain, it interrogates. He asks the questions America often refuses to answer. What happens to a community brutalized by poverty and police? What does manhood look like in a nation that criminalizes Black boyhood? How do cycles of trauma echo through generations, and can they ever be broken? These are not hypothetical questions in Kendrick's world. They are survival strategies wrapped in melody and metaphor. And through this course, students at Temple will be asked to explore those tensions with academic seriousness and cultural sensitivity. The syllabus, which spans Kendrick's discography from Section .80 to Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, is designed to place his work within the context of African American history, literature, politics, and philosophy. Songs like Sing About Me, I'm Dying of Thirst will be treated as texts, requiring annotation, dissection, and dialogue. Students will examine the evolution of Kendrick's moral voice over time, noting the shift from survivor's guilt in Good Kid, M.A.A.D City, to institutional critique into Pimp a Butterfly, to personal reckoning in Damn, and finally to the therapeutic vulnerability of Mr. Morale. Unlike traditional courses that assign essays and exams, Welbeck's class aims for something more immersive. There will be multimedia analysis, lyrical breakdowns, performance critiques, and thematic debates. One week might center on Kendrick's use of the Lucy character into Pimp a Butterfly as an allegory for temptation and systemic entrapment. Another might look at how his Pulitzer-winning album Damn uses binary oppositions, fear and faith, pride and humility, to explore the dualities that define Black existence in America. The course also includes an exploration of Kendrick's visual storytelling, particularly his music videos, short films, and live performances. These moments, often overlooked in academic study, are central to understanding the full impact of his work. His 2016 Grammy performance, which juxtaposed prison imagery with African dance, wasn't just a show, it was an artistic indictment of the criminal justice system. His 2025 Super Bowl halftime performance, considered one of the most politically charged spectacles in broadcast history, layered ancestral reverence with modern resistance. These were not just cultural events, they were masterclasses in messaging, symbolism, and subversion. Through this lens, Kendrick isn't simply a rapper. He's a griot, a modern-day storyteller preserving memory and morality through cadence and rhyme. His lyrics don't just describe Black life, they document it, mourn it, celebrate it, and reimagine it. Professor Welbeck understands this instinctively. His academic work is steeped in hip-hop pedagogy and critical race theory, but it's his lived experience, as a black man, an artist, and a Philadelphian, that brings an unmatched authenticity to the classroom. He doesn't teach hip-hop from a distance. He teaches it from within. And for students, that changes everything. Students in the course won't just leave with a new appreciation for Kendrick's artistry. They'll leave with a new framework for understanding how art, especially black art, operates within and against the structures of power. They'll see how music becomes a vessel for memory, how rhythm becomes a resistance strategy, how bars become blueprints for liberation. A central focus of the course is also how Kendrick's work complicates mainstream narratives about black masculinity. While much of popular hip-hop has historically leaned on hyper-masculine tropes, Kendrick flips that script. He shows vulnerability. He cries, doubts, prays, falters, and confesses. In doing so, he makes space for a fuller expression of black manhood, one that includes fragility, introspection, and healing. Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was particularly groundbreaking in this respect. Songs like Father Time and Mother I Sober explore generational trauma, therapy, and sexual abuse, topics rarely addressed in rap with such openness. Kendrick doesn't present himself as healed or heroic. He presents himself as a man trying to unlearn damage, both inherited and inflicted. For students, this offers a rare and urgent opportunity to think through the emotional dimensions of identity and art. The course also situates Kendrick in the broader lineage of West Coast rap and black protest music. Students will study the foundations laid by groups like NWA and Public Enemy, the poetic influence of Tupac Shakur, and the conscious legacy of artists like Mos Def and The Roots. But while Kendrick is deeply indebted to his predecessors, he has also created something uniquely his own, a blend of street reportage and spiritual inquiry that defies easy categorization. And that's precisely why Temple is putting his work at the center of serious academic inquiry. It's not about idolizing Kendrick. It's about recognizing what his work represents. He is not just a cultural product, he is a cultural producer. His albums are not footnotes in history. They are historical documents in their own right. The inclusion of this course also marks a broader shift in how universities view hip-hop. For decades, the genre was marginalized within academia, treated as too commercial, too violent, too unserious. But as hip-hop nears its 50th year, it's being reevaluated not just as art, but as philosophy, as ethnography, as pedagogy. It is a living, breathing text. And Kendrick Lamar is one of its most urgent scribes. This reevaluation has already begun across other universities. Harvard has a hip-hop archive. Yale offers classes on rap lyricism. But Temple's course stands out for its focus on moral philosophy, psychological depth, and cultural context. It doesn't just ask what Kendrick is saying, it asks why he's saying it, and what it means to say these things in a country still battling with its racial conscience. More than anything, Kendrick Lamar and the Morale of M.A.A.D City is about ownership. It's about reclaiming the right to study one's own culture without apology or compromise. For Black students in particular, this course is a reminder that their stories are worthy of scholarship, that their pain is not peripheral, that their brilliance is not accidental. As the fall 2025 semester nears, there's already a waiting list for the course. Students are eager. So are visiting scholars. Even artists and industry insiders have reached out to see how the course will unfold. Because this is more than just a class. It's a cultural moment. And perhaps a turning point. If Kendrick Lamar's music has taught us anything, it's that transformation doesn't happen in the spotlight. It happens in the silence between verses. It happens in the questions we're too scared to ask. It happens in the classrooms we never thought would exist. In that sense, what Temple University is doing is revolutionary. It's asserting that Black music, Black life, and Black thought are not extracurricular. They are essential. And when the first lecture begins, when students crack open the lyrics to All Right or press play on Feel, with notebooks in hand, they won't just be studying Kendrick Lamar. They'll be studying themselves. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.